then I hope you'll find, as I do, that I can never get enough of this tool because it shows so many different things. Okay? So let me explain how this works. By the way, how many of you seen this before? Okay, that's a good number. Don't worry. There are more lessons every time from this thing. So here's how this works. Here are speeds of different technologies, and here is an opportunity to choose different functionalities. And let's say we are going to talk about, we'll do this twice, okay? Let's start with an X-ray photo. Suppose you live in a remote area. Let's say it's 5 hours from a health center. And in order for you to have a test of some kind, you have to go to this health center. Let's say you have to drive there for 5 hours, wait a while, get tested, and then drive home. So you've effectively killed hours, 5 hours one way, 5 hours the other way, just in the driving. And what if you could send an X-ray over your broadband connection to the center, have it evaluated there, and then have your results sent back to your local doctor or your local caregivers without your having to do that. Now, that could be, certainly at a minimum, it's a convenience and quality of life issue, but it could also be a life and death issue. Now, what would it take to do that? It would take the ability for you to be able to upload quickly the X-ray, and in that case, upload speed is very necessary. And then the clinic would have to be able to download, so it's both sides. So now we've here selected X-ray photo, and here's what's going to happen. Now, if you had a dial-up, you'll see in blue what the download capacity would be of the clinic to accept your signal, and the red is the time it would take for you to upload at these various speeds. Now, here's where we are in the U.S. today, right around here, okay? And here's where Japan, South Korea, here's where Singapore is going to be in 2015, okay? Here's where Hong Kong is already today. In Hong Kong, you could get this kind of speed in both 100 megabits per second in both directions for $13 a month. Okay? In France, you can get 100 down, 50 up, plus telephone service to 60 countries, plus video for 30 euros a month. That's roughly $45 a month. That's today. That's not 2015. Okay? So that's where we are today. 100 megabits per second is becoming the world standard. This is the default standard. This is what countries are saying our targets ought to be. So now we know in the abstract what people are doing today and what they're talking about doing. And by the way, China won't have 100 megs or a gigabit per second all over the country, but China last year created more broadband connections than we have in 1 year. They're so huge that that kind of progress in China can itself swamp us. Okay, so now let's go to the tapes, as they say. Okay, an X-ray photo. I click start. Okay, they're done in Asia. Okay, and that'll take a while, but you get the idea. Okay, so let's do something else. Let's take a look at, how about an instruction video? So how does the world work these days in a commercial sense? We know that all around the world, manufacturers take their businesses and they break up the tasks. It's not, you don't look anymore, or the more advanced employers don't anymore look at a task as one where they have to do it all in one place. What they do is they break up the task, they create value chains, they send a piece of it to Brazil and a piece of it to India and a piece of it to the Philippines, especially if they're talking about English speaking. They go to where labor costs and other things are low, where education levels are as high as ours, if not higher. So they break tasks up, send them around the world, manage it through high-speed communications, and then put it all together. For example, if you were to order a computer from Dell, it would get its worldwide network to work on that, and the computer that's finally delivered to you might involve people from 8, 9, 10 countries when that computer finally lands on your desk. Well, how do our individuals, how do our employers, how do people in America fit into this chain? Well, they've got to be computer literate. They've got to stay up with technology. They've got to be trained and retrained and so on and so forth. And how will they be trained? Well, they won't necessarily go to schools frequently. They'll be trained through video. Video is the service that will be the mode of communication, especially our young people understand that. And so, let's say we are a worker, we're a community, we want our workers to participate in these global chains of value, and their method of training would be an instruction video. Okay, the video would go out over the network, and here we go. Start. Okay. This is now 600 megabytes of information, and here's how long it will take for that to happen. They've already got it in Hong Kong and Singapore and the countries that will be there by 2015, and they'll get there in a couple minutes in Japan, South Korea. But how about us? Now, I can assure you that if I left this running, you can come back after your conference tomorrow and it still wouldn't load all the way.